Can you not give up tasty, delicious food by just exercising extra? Clever question. I bet you're here because you've probably heard that muscle burns 250% more calories than fat. So if you just pack on more muscle, you'll be able to get away with controlling your eating less, right? You have also heard that HIIT is the way to go because the afterburn means your metabolism is revved up and you're burning way more calories even after you're done with your 20 minutes of HIIT, right? But then you have also heard that exercise is only 20% of the equation for weight loss. But it's calories in, calories out. That sounds like a 50-50 split. How could exercise only account for 20%? And you know what? The folks telling you these things are not even talking about the biggest bang for the buck exercise for you, because it requires no coaching, no workout plans, no instructions. But you're not going to believe me when I tell you unless I first show you why, aka the science. So by the end of this video, you're going to have the foundational knowledge to make a decision for yourself on if, what type, and how much exercise is for you. Hi Viva fam, Richa here, weight loss coach at coachviva.com. If you're an analytical thinker trying to lose weight, subscribe and hit the bell icon for new science-backed and practical videos every week. Also, heads up, a few spots have opened up for the free one-to-one consultation call for my Badass Body Boss program. So stick around till the end for the announcement on that. Now let's get started. Okay, so the first thing we need to answer is which thing causes the most calorie burn? Is it building muscle, doing HIIT, something else? Do you have to do all of the above? No, you don't need to do all of them for long-term weight loss. I'm gonna bust that myth right now so you can relax. Okay, so what is the thing that burns the most calories? Let's turn to science to answer this. Here's where your daily calorie burn comes from. Up to 70% of calorie burn comes from your resting or basal metabolic rate, or BMR. This is the calories that are burned just to keep you alive. Many factors go into this. Some of the main ones are sex. Men generally burn more calories than women because they tend to have bigger organs and bones, more muscle, and so on. Age, as you get older, you lose muscle mass as well as overall require lesser energy. So your calorie burn decreases with age. Height, the taller you are, the more surface area you have to lose heat, which means your body burns more energy trying to keep your body temperature regulated. So the taller you are, the higher your calorie burn. And weight. The more mass you have, the more energy is needed to move you from point A to point B. So the more you weigh, the higher your calorie burn. Now, typically you can't do much about your sex, age, or height, and you're actively trying to lose weight, not gain it for the sake of higher calorie burn. The one thing that you can do to up your BMR is to increase your muscle mass so you burn more calories at rest. But to what degree? Enough so that you can burn 500 calories more per day? Probably not. Why? The average rate of muscle gain for women is 0.5 to 1 pound per month. And for men, it's 1 to 2 pounds per month. Makes the sustainable weight loss rate of 1 to 2 pounds per week seem fast now, huh? Okay, so each pound of muscle burns 50 calories while each pound of fat burns 20 calories. For simplicity, let's assume no fat loss and pure muscle gain. If you gain 1 pound of pure muscle, you can eat 50 calories more per day and maintain. Now, you may think that if you put on 10 pounds of muscle over the next 10 months, you'd be able to eat 500 extra calories. Hooray! Not so fast. Our biology doesn't work that way. Just like the closer you get to a healthy weight, the slower weight loss you experience, the closer you get to your maximum fitness potential, the slower muscle gain happens. So the muscle gain graph is more like an exponential plateau. As you put on more and more muscle, the time it takes to gain 1 pound of muscle starts extending to multiple months. And on top of that, it isn't even possible for you to lose weight without overall muscle loss. While at the start of your weight loss, you may see muscle gain and fat loss simultaneously, over time, you'll start seeing both muscle and fat loss. This is normal. Strength training is great at reducing how much of your weight loss turns out to be muscle loss. Ideally, you want it to be at most 25% so that when you get to your goal, you look more like the woman on the right instead of her past self on the left. But from a pure burning extra calories so you can eat more perspective, muscle gained through strength training won't compensate for your nutrition such that you can continue to eat significantly more than if you weren't strength training and trying to lose weight. After BMR, 15% of calories are burned through non-exercise adaptive thermogenesis, or NEAT. This is your daily movements like walking, twitching, shaking, etc. It's a byproduct of living your usual life. And so the best contributor to this tends to be A, your job type. If you're a teacher or construction worker, you naturally burn more calories than a desk job worker. And B, your commute choice. If you don't own a car and bike or bus to work, you're burning more calories. You could, of course, also intentionally try to carve out time to up your NEAT by aiming for 10,000 steps daily, for example. Overall, think of this as the routines in your life. When I first realized that after the calories burned to keep me alive, the next highest calorie burned was from my routines, it blew my mind. Because by themselves, each routine doesn't seem like much. I'm not panting or feeling the burn after I walk to my bus stop or shake my legs, a habit that annoys everyone around me. Yet this is all adding up to a massive amount of calorie burn. Okay, moving on, after NEAT, 10% of calorie burn comes from Thermic Effect of Food, or TEF. To digest the foods you eat, your body uses some of the calories in the foods to digest them. When you eat protein, 20 to 30% of the calories get burned to digest it. In contrast, eating carbs takes up to 5 to 10% of calories burned, and fats take up 0 to 3% of calories burned. It's also been seen that processed foods burn about 50% fewer calories than when you eat whole foods. Now, note that these are percentages off the 10% of TEF. So for example, when eating protein, that's 30% multiplied by 10%, which is equal to 3% extra calorie burn in total. So from a purely calorie burning point of view, these don't make a big difference. But from the point of view of being able to stick to your calorie target, they make a huge difference. And the final 5% comes from Thermic Effect of Activity, or formal exercise, aka cardio and strength training. This seemed shocking to me when I first found out because of how much I hear about exercise being key to weight loss. I mean, there are whole programs where they prescribe 6 days of HIIT on top of other things to make you lose weight. But when I thought about it as a daily breakdown, I realized how could 1 or even 2 hours of cardio or lifting make up for 22 to 23 hours of sitting and laying down? This doesn't add up, literally. Now, you may be wondering, but what about the afterburn of HIIT? Isn't my metabolic rate super high, causing a lot of calorie burn? Studies have shown that even if you exercise vigorously in the range of 90 to 100% of your maximum heart rate, you're only looking at about 6 to 15% additional calorie burn after your workout. So for example, if you're 200 pounds and did a 20-minute HIIT workout, you burned about 254 calories. After about 20-minute workout, you burned 15 to 38 additional calories, making your grand total of whopping 269 to 292 calories. Now, of course, you could do a 1-hour bike ride or other such vigorous workouts for longer to burn extra calories, but the question becomes of sustainability and balance, because intense workouts also whet your appetite, and thus a lot of people find themselves extra hungry, eating extra calories, and over time seeing their weight loss plateau. Out of all of these categories of calorie burn, you can see theoretically, and I can also confirm in practice through my coaching practice, the best activity for maximum calorie burn while feeling sustainable is increasing your NEAT. What this means is literally getting 6,000 to 10,000 steps daily by doing whatever movement you enjoy. This could be walks, this could be dancing. Whatever it is, you'll find yourself sticking to it long term, your appetite not feeling crazy high, and when formal exercise does become your bottleneck, usually at about 25% body fat, then you won't have negative baggage around formal exercise. So now that you understand this breakdown, you're ready to figure out how many calories you burn in a day. Let's do this together. Click on the link in the description below to the TDEE calculator. We'll walk through some examples together. So these first 4 fields are calculating your BMR. You can enter your age, sex, height, and weight. Next, the activity field is mainly about your NEAT, despite how it's labeled, because remember, 15% of your calorie burn comes from the routines of your life, while only 5% come from formal exercise. So if you have a desk job, I suggest choosing sedentary. If you're a teacher or have a job that similarly requires being on your feet for 4 or more hours, choose light activity. If you're a construction worker or have a job that similarly requires 4+ hours of movement and heavy lifting, then choose moderate. If you're an athlete who's exercising intensely, 4 or more hours a day, choose active. For most people, sedentary tends to be the right place to start. When you submit this and get your results, choose the mild weight loss calorie target. The reason for this is because 1, this is the calorie deficit that we have seen be sustainable long-term for people, as in you don't burn out and quit. And number 2, the mild deficit compensates for any underestimations to your activity level, that is, you won't be left extra hungry. Then at the end of every 7 days, check your weight, waist, hip, and neck measurements. Plug these numbers into the body fat calculator linked in the description below. And if you see that you're losing more fat mass than lean mass, your calorie target is good. But if you're losing more lean mass than fat mass, then your daily calorie burn is higher, and you can up your calorie target by 100 to 150 calories for the next 7 days and see if that fixes the problem. I suggest this being a more iterative process because these formulas are just theoretical. As you can see, a lot of this is art and science, as is the case with anything that involves finding the sweet spot or balance between various factors like nutrition, exercise, lifestyle, etc., and making it work for you. I've worked with hundreds of students to help with exactly this. And if you too want my help working through all of this, check out the Badass Body Boss program. The program is built for you if you 1. Value learning in depth the science and psychology behind the entire process, 2. Believe that weight loss need not be so complicated, that each method out there works for someone at some stage, and that you just need a clear plan to finding your methods for your stage, and 3. Are excited by the idea of working in a collaborative fashion with me to build your customized, sustainable roadmap to lifelong success. If that's you, good news. A few spots have opened up for a free one-to-one consultation call. Note, this is not a coaching call, and that booking a call does not guarantee you'll be admitted into the program. So if you're serious, click on the link in the description below to book a one-to-one consultation for the Badass Body Boss program. And if you found this video helpful, please hit that like button, be sure to subscribe and follow us on Instagram, and share this video with whoever else you feel could use this information. And be sure to check out these 2 videos to learn more about how to lose fat and gain muscle like a body boss. You can do it.